Life is hard. Surprise, of course. You're probably not surprised by that at all. I mean, if you were surprised by that statement, then I'd like to see what your life is like. Anyway, so life is hard. Of that there is no doubt. And a lot of times it can be overwhelming. And we can hate it. And it can be rough. And it can suck. And doing creative projects is no different. They're typically hard as well. Even the ones we want to do. Maybe especially the ones we want to do. Because there's no incentive beyond our own desire to do them. So that kind of like doubles down on everything where difficulties make us want to just not even try. But you know what? It's probably the way it's supposed to be. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be that way. And guess what? I think we love it. Just how it is. Greetings, good humans, and welcome to Tabletop Alchemy, where sometimes we explore high-level philosophical nonsense in pursuit of our low-level tabletop hobby. And we thank our patrons for facilitating the ride. Or at least encouraging it. Maybe. Alright, so bear with me for a moment. There's something over here that has always fascinated me. This is Minecraft. I'm sure most of you know that. More specifically, this is my little world in Minecraft. And I haven't been in here for quite a while. That's, I need to go check on some things. But feast your eyes. Everything before you, and a lot of other stuff you can't see, was built by my own two mouse fingers. And a lot of it was built twice. I'll show you why in a moment. This is my bee farm. I made it aesthetic. I made it aesthetic. That's like a thing that young YouTubers say. Make it aesthetic. I don't know if aesthetic is actually a noun. Maybe it is. In fact, I should probably Google that so I don't sound like an idiot. Okay. I had to go look it up. Yeah. So aesthetic can be used as a noun. It just can't be used the way that young YouTubers use it. It's like it has to be tied as a noun. It has to be tied to a certain other noun or adjective. Anyway, it sounds wrong to say I made it aesthetic. Anyway, this is my aesthetically pleasing, to me, bee farm. It provides me with honeycomb, out of which I can make honey blocks, which I can build with or decorate with, etc. And it's automated. See, I buried the mechanical stuff underground because it's unsightly or not aesthetic. Duh. Every block that isn't part of the natural world generation was fabricated or mined up or placed down by me while fending off skeletons and creepers. Now, bear with me. I'm getting to a point and getting back to tabletop hobby stuff and how it relates. But let's talk about creepers for a moment, because creepers are, in fact, going to help illustrate this point I'm fascinated with. These things don't make any noise, and they blow up when they get within a certain proximity of you. First ones I've ever crafted, and no! This is just terrible. It's the middle of the day, man. Man. It's the middle of the day. I'm just so upsetting. Dang it. Their entire goal in life is to sneak up on a player and blow them up. Now, when they blow up, they might kill you. But more importantly, they wreck the stuff you've built. So then you have to recover, you got to recuperate, you got to collect all the items, you got to rebuild. They introduce just one of the many ways in which the survival mode of playing this game has ramifications or introduces difficulties, I guess, is the bottom line. That's the way to put it. Anyway, let me get back to my script here so I look professional. Now, I mentioned that a lot of stuff here I've built twice. So this is my creative design world. It's a different world, which is essentially just a different computer file I set up to just do design work in, while in what we call, or the game calls, creative mode. Now, most of you probably know all about Minecraft, so this is just me setting the basics out for those who don't know anything about Minecraft. And again, this video is not about Minecraft, but this particular feature of Minecraft is a perfect way to illustrate the thing that I'm fascinated with. So, putting myself in creative mode means I have access to every block in the game. Infinite amounts. I can fly around. I can use commands to do all kinds of stuff like teleporting. And so I can design builds here and experiment and test color palettes and block palettes and architecture and structures and just shapes and whatever, all without limitation. Then I go into my survival world and I build the things I've designed, and I build them in survival mode. Meaning I have to go mine the blocks, collect the materials, risk death by creepers. I can't levitate. Even breaking blocks takes longer in survival mode than in creative mode. In creative mode, I can literally copy and paste an entire building. But I don't do that in this world, in my survival world. I do it all the hard way. And this is the strange thing I'm fascinated with. Statistically, way more people play Minecraft in survival mode than people who play solely in creative mode. Why? In creative mode, you have everything. Infinite resources. Copy and paste reality editing. I can go into the creative menu and fill my inventory with infinite diamonds. But there is absolutely zero satisfaction in doing that when compared to mining deep down in the caves for hours in the survival world and finding diamonds while in survival mode. This meager handful of diamonds provides a lot of satisfaction, precisely because I'm in survival mode, and things are harder to do. This is probably a stretch, but maybe a similar correlation in our tabletop hobby, for example, might be pre-painted miniatures or pre-painted terrain. Now, I have nothing against these, nor anyone who prefers them for whatever reason. Just for me personally, I never want anything pre-painted. I want to do that particular work myself. But I'm really just fascinated with the notion that when given a choice between complete freedom and infinite resources and actual time sink work and labor and the difficulties of not having infinite resources and not being able to fly around, and also the inconvenience of digital death, most people, most of the time, choose the latter. I suppose humans thrive, somehow, even if we don't like to admit it, on actual challenges or being challenged. Like we're built to be challenged or to accept and overcome challenges. Some philosophers might say that the moment one stops accepting challenges, one stops living. Of course, this doesn't apply to every circumstance, but it's interesting to note that every creative project is full of challenges. And quite possibly the feeling of satisfaction upon completion of a creative project can be proportional to the amount of challenges overcome. Maybe. Now, this phenomenon isn't restricted to just creative projects, and I'm really interested personally in somehow factoring the idea of inevitable challenge into my everyday thought process. Like, I want to be so aware of the fact that the challenge is coming, or the problems and obstacles are going to arise, that I not only just start to expect them, but also to experience more joy in taking them on. I feel I need to do this in my everyday life as well as in creative projects, whatever they may be. That's the coolest thing to me, finding philosophies or concepts that resonate or are useful across the life spectrum, rather than just being applicable in specific scenarios. And all this is really just to say that when approaching a project, a lot of the time we as humans tend to focus on the notion of impending difficulties, and that can tend to make us give up. Sometimes, okay, a lot of times, that can make us give up before we even start. But maybe we're conveniently ignoring this weird fact that we are actually built for taking on challenges. That challenges and obstacles just might be, perversely, what we actually subconsciously enjoy. We're all subconsciously masochists. I said it. It must be true. I mean, we all know that saying about life being the journey, right? The idea that achieving the goal of a project is in actuality a fleeting moment in time. In fact, there are only brief moments in time when we aren't dealing in some way with a challenge of some kind. Being challenged seems to be the one constant in life. So I'm wondering if, like for myself, if I can just get comfortable getting excited about challenges versus just thinking about end results. I wonder if I'll be more likely to take on projects or to take on challenges. You know, to take them on with that razor blade grin. Anyway, this whole video is probably more for me than it is for anyone else. Maybe a lot of my videos are like that. But you know, I've been very open about how I utilize the production of this channel's content to help me get stuff done. And it just is what it is. So, enjoy survival mode, because you already enjoy it, even if you don't think so. And maybe gain some confidence from knowing you were built for survival mode. See ya. This is my aesthetic viewpoint. Back to tabletop hobby stuff. Some philosophers. I mean, we all know that. That razor blade. To take them on with that razor blade grin. Dude, I can't say the word. I really want to say it. I like that phrase. I like the phrase razor blade grin. God, that's difficult to say. That L in blade is tough. Razor blade grin.